Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the chilihead community by the chili community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, up here tonight, we have an amazing episode on deck. We have a great duo guest locked and loaded, so we're going to be diving in and discussing everything to do with a great chilihead app that's out there, as well as playing a very fun game of the Sauce Gauntlet. So, episode 151 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts, thank you for making this podcast what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot, because this is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Now, up tonight, we have a very fun episode planned. We're going to be talking about a great chilihead app and all of the great ways in which it's been able to, get the base foundation set, as well as stuff that they're adding in and sprinkling in very soon. So look forward to diving into this Firehub conversation here tonight. And if you're on a platform that allows for a rating and review of the podcast, please go ahead, leave a review on the podcast. That gives us an overall great way to get in front of the algorithm. So head on over there. Please leave a 5-star review. It helps us continue to grow what we are doing here. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to tonight's episode. Hey, Michael. Hey, Alexandria. How's it going?
Hi. Hey, Brandon. Hey, everyone. Brandon.
Glad to have y'all here. Obviously, y'all have been on the podcast before, but in a different light. Today, we are focusing on Firehub and everything that y'all have been really able to get going on this and really be able to add to the overall community. So glad to have y'all here.
Thank you.
Very excited.
Well, first and foremost, obviously we know about y'all's journey from the last time you were on. So I guess in a different light, but in the same tone, for those that are unfamiliar, what is Firehub and, what can they kind of just at a high level expect to find whenever they go to Firehub and log in and sign up?
So I'd be happy to go first, and I'll let you fill in any of the gaps that I might miss. But high level, Firehub is an app, and it is for anyone who loves anything spicy. And we are a community for new chili heads, for existing chili heads, and people who enjoy just eating spicy things, collecting, people who make sauces or any type of spicy products. Even if you make pepper-themed like clothes or things like that, we're happy for you to share them on Firehub. It is a community for the entire world to come together and showcase what they love, make, and what they have achieved in the world of capsaicin.
Yep, it's and beyond that too, it's really an app of groups. So one of our core missions at Firehub is to unite the chilihead community. It's definitely probably one of our greatest missions. Really, is we bringing together the entire community. So when you log into Firehub, you'll see a feed of everything happening across the chilihead world.
Okay. As we are looking at it here, this is what it would look like on the desktop browser. And yes, you have, plenty of people being able to check in and showcase not only the pictures, but it looks like also there's a nice video overlay component to this. So love that. And enjoy the overall breakdown rating that they're able to give a quick hit on for the overall Firehub app. Really, I guess how did the whole process kind of get started? Where did this journey spark in your head that was like, you know what, let's just launch Firehub and this is what it needs to start looking like?
So I was doing a ton of challenges, and I really was diving deep into the world of hot sauce and spicy foods and challenges, like I was saying. And I turned to Michael, whom has always built technology, and his whole career is based around technology. And I said to him, what can we do? There's no place where I can record and log everything I've eaten and all of my achievements And everything I've ever done, I want to know if, a year later, if I've had a certain hot sauce and what I thought of it, because we consume so many, it's hard to remember like what you thought of a sauce. And you go back and you want to see like, if you want to see like where your tolerance was or what the heat rating that you gave it was at the time, you can see that on Firehub. So basically, Firehub's kind of like a fusion between Instagram and Facebook with the whole feed. And it also has the check-in capability where you can give a rating on something. And that's where it came from, was my need for some sort of diary. And I told Michael, I said, let's build this thing, because if I want to remember everything that I've achieved and everything I've done, then I bet you that there's thousands of other people who feel the same way. They want to keep track of all their achievements. And that is Firehub. You can check in anything in the world, any spicy product or any spicy related item.
Time machine back a little bit further. It actually all started at the very end of 2022. And, Alexandria being kind of the wild card she can be sometimes, it was like just after Christmas. And she said, Michael, I really want to do something spicy. And I said, okay, let me see what I can find. Yeah. So I found about 45 minutes nearby one of the hardest wing challenges in America. And I said, okay, we have to go do this. So we drove 45 minutes. We did it. And I've done a few restaurant challenges before then. And Alexandria, she put on a real good fight. She didn't quite get through it though.
No.
But I think that lit a fire in her. And that's really was the catalyst for all of this. So then we transitioned to 2023, and we just basically anything we could do. Our very first video was a Pocky chip. We did a Pocky chip challenge together, and then we just tore through it. We started doing like fire challenges, pure insanity. Eventually, we found Cap Crew. So we just kind of worked through the community. And I think in that process, as Alexandria said, she really wanted a place to document all these different things we were doing, because it was so much more than hot sauce, right? So we're talking, all sorts of obviously commercial challenges, but also homegrown challenges, and you've got tincture, and it's such a vibrant world. And we really wanted to build something that kind of encapsulated all that. So we started building Firehub at the beginning of 2023, and it's kind of crazy to think that we're actually going to be entering our fourth year working on Firehub here as we transition in 2026.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And it's been, one of the things that we've really focused on is really accessibility. So, I think people talk mostly about the Firehub apps. Of course, it's available on iOS and Android. But from the very beginning, we've actually maintained feature parity on the web. So for anyone in the world, no matter where you are, can access and use Firehub and all of its features. We've got barcode scanner integrated. Anything you can do on the app, you can do in a browser. So again, really focused on accessibility. And if you're a chili head, no matter where you are in the world, you can use Firehub.
That's the cool part about it, is really being able to, because I do use it in multiple ways. Like if I'm sitting in front of my computer, I will be logging it in that manner. Typically, if I'm on my computer, that's whenever I'm scrolling through the feed, I'm looking at what people have going on, what they've been inputting, what they've been sharing with the world, if you will. And something that feels like Facebook has really fallen off and let all of us down, not just the chili heads, but the whole entire user base down, is by eliminating their lives and like cutting those out of that function. So having this to be another outlet to be able to catalog and to roll back, like you were saying, to see kind of like just how other people experience maybe a challenge that you're about to get into, or how you handled it compared to how you're going into one, and how that's going to actually stack up. It gives a great way in that sense to be able to do that. Now, same thing with like you have very, very interesting. I'll mention one that I logged, and just to give a good wide array of things that you can find. There was a time that I scanned in an HEB candle that was Serrano cornbread.
Yes,
love it.
I love it too.
And it's just like
my favorite
things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd say it's probably 98%, 99% food, but sometimes we'll get the occasional non-food item, which always makes us happy.
One of the great things about Firehub is you don't just have to check things in. So we are just like Facebook, where of course you can check in and add a location and you can like talk about your experience somewhere, but you can also just make a post and say, hey everyone, my name's John, I'm new to Firehub, and look at this, whatever, this set I bought that has XYZ in it, and you can just share a photo. So I've done that too. I've bought my border collie Mochi. I bought her some squeaky hot sauce bottle toys, and I checked those in too on Firehub. And I have a chili pepper hair clip that I've posted before too as a photo. So it's just kind of a place for people to come and be able to express their, excitement about various products and share it with other people who are excited about spicy products, so that we can help the community grow.
Absolutely love it. The overall the way of check-in. So we've kind of talked about it as being able to like scan it in or manually input it. What is that process like for someone that is just finding out about the app? Obviously, I'm familiar with it to an extent, but there's obviously always new ways that y'all are re-updating, making it more smooth and functional. So definitely beneficial for those starting out.
Yeah, I'd say there's probably three kind of core ways. The easiest is very similar to Facebook. You can just tap post. So there's a plus and a post. You can choose an image, you can choose a video, you can write a description, and you can just post directly into Firehub. So that's probably the easiest. The second, and I think it's just as easy, would be doing a check-in. We have what we call the universal check-in. And basically, the first thing it asks you to do is there a barcode? And you can scan the barcode. That's the fastest way. Typically we have a lot of hot sauces. We could just scan a barcode and it'll go right to it. And then if it doesn't exist in the database, we have what we built a computer vision kind of AI walkthrough that will automatically create the product inside of the Firehub database for you, and then you can check in against that. So that's very popular. I'd say a vast majority of our check-ins go through that workflow. Even if the barcode doesn't exist in the database, the AI computer vision can associate it to a product, which we see all the time. So like a Primo Army hot sauce, someone that's been checked in a number of times, it'll pick it right out of the database.
Yep.
And then the other option is, and this is probably most common in our groups, so we have a lot of groups on Firehub, a lot of challenge groups, hot sauce groups, like High Desert, for example, where you can just search for the product, go straight to the product, and then just tap check-in. So there's really kind of three different ways of getting things into Firehub, and our goal is it should be easy and it should be fun, because all of this is for fun, right? That's why we're here. Firehub is a safe and fun place to share your passion. We basically a group of spicy fanatics.
Yeah.
Now, something you had mentioned right there towards the end with the groups and the check-ins. So if someone checks in something within a group, or you like if someone logs something via a group, does that also post on the main page for Firehub, or is that only within that group?
Yeah, so what's a little different with Firehub is it does aggregate everything. So it's kind of the whole hub in Firehub. So whether you're checking into Cap Crew or League of Fire, Pure Insanity, High Desert, any of the groups, it'll show up in the main feed, and then it'll tell you the name of the group above the person's name, so you can kind of get a little bit of added context. And if you were to tap into the check-in, it'll take you into the group, and that's kind of similar in that regard to Facebook. The other thing that's maybe slightly different, like if we were to compare it to like a Facebook, is anything you do across Firehub shows up on your main profile, which is pretty nice. So it kind of gives you that journey, right? So and that's one of our primary goals here. So as you take on challenges across different groups and check in different hot sauces, you get one nice kind of aggregation on your main Firehub profile. It kind of brings everything together, all your accomplishments. We have collections, you can create collections. So, everyone has different journeys. It's really interesting to kind of see how people use collections. We have avid users that will create collections to kind of showcase the different hot sauces they love. Yeah. But then we also have a lot of competitors, people that compete all over the world, and they'll create challenges to showcase world record certificates, trophies they've won, belts, titles, all various things. So Firehub is a great place to document that journey, as a chili head. So again, if it could be as simple as just hot sauce all the way to, world athletes like a Mike Jack.
Yeah. Yep. No, that sounds amazing. That's the beauty of it too, is as you were saying, like being able to get the exposure to, like, maybe you join Firehub and you're a chili head, you don't know exactly the full lay of the land of what's really out there. Being able to still see what is going on in some of these groups there are extremely nice feature to be able to kind of get an idea of that, because then obviously the more that you see that, the more that you're going to get tapped into that group that's really been posting what caught your eye initially, but also you're going to now know different avenues in which you can explore. So it's a lot of fun to be able to see. And as you click on over here, you have, as you were saying, it broken down into the groups that you've joined, and then it also has the groups to explore here. And it's just very, very simple, very easy to be able to, just a touch of a button and you're already in the group now. So do love the overall breakdown that is, going on here. And as far as the collections aspect, because I have seen that whenever I'm logging something, and maybe it's something brand new for the first time. Now, when someone types in for the collection, is that creating a group, or is that creating something that is tagged just specifically to that user?
It's specifically to your profile. So for instance, I have a couple collections. One of mine is Cap Crew achievements, because I've achieved so many things that I personally feel so proud of in Cap Crew. And I think to myself, for me personally, sometimes I'll forget about things and I'll just keep moving on and trying to achieve new goals. But I like to be able to look back and say, hey, look at all the things I've accomplished in the past. So I've got my black hat on there. That's one of my favorite Cap Crew achievements I've ever earned. And I have another group that's a great example of spooky sauces. So it's specifically sauces with spooky names or spooky labels. And those are just visible on my profile. But if you're a friend of mine, or if you search for my name, you can come and view my collection as well. Now, something we are working on, which I'm very excited about, is the option for making things private, because there's some people who want to keep certain accomplishments to themselves, and that's fine. And that should be an option for users. So certain groups and certain individuals will have the option to just be seen in a group, or just have certain things seen on their profile by certain people. And that's something that we hope to be releasing here in the future.
And maybe you take a peek at, if you go back to the feed and just scroll down, maybe you can grab my profile real quick. If you just scroll a little bit, you should, there I am. Just an example of collections there. So like the way I categorize is, so like I like to think of the different accomplishments over the years. So that's kind of how I break things down. But again, everyone uses collections differently.
Right.
So it's meant to be very flexible. So.
Yeah, no, that's super cool to be able to see. I've always looked at the My Collections, box whenever filling stuff out, but was hesitant because I wasn't 100% certain as to like what I was potentially going to, mess up or end up having just like duplicate crossover. But to be able to categorize it and it say specifically to your profile is a very nice touch, because that alone should also make it super easy and convenient for others whenever you're sharing out, like, oh, hey, like you bump into someone, first time meeting them at, Hot Sauce Expo, whatever the case may be. And you're like, oh, I had tried this one product. It was phenomenal. You definitely need to check it out. And then they're like, okay, well, you're trying to explain it, but, it never always is the easiest thing to just explain to somebody. It's like better to show them. And to have that be a pinnable, showable, linkable to your profile, and boom, have it pulled up like that is got to be super nice.
Yes.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a feature that gets used quite a bit. We actually just released an update because we actually have a power user that just broke 20 collections. So we've been iterating on it, making it even better, for people that really like to categorize things, because, again, you can get really granular, which is really great. And then, of course, you're looking at badges here. One of the core tenets of Firehub is our badges. This is something that we're really proud of. We put a lot of time and effort into it. And actually, if you click on one of them just to kind of load, maybe the any one that you choose there, you can see the 3D animation that comes through. So this is something we really pour our hearts into. We have badges that you can just unlock for day-to-day use of Firehub, but we also have holiday badges. We're actually getting ready to release a new set of 20 new badges. You can see the amount of detail that goes into these badges. It's actually quite the creative endeavor.
These new badges are so good looking too. I'm so excited about them. They're even better than the ones we had before.
So yeah, each one's designed by hand, no AI. It's all painstakingly done.
Yep.
And so we're really excited about the new badges that are coming out. One of our big holidays on Firehub is Halloween. So we have a Halloween badge that you can unlock. All you have to do is just check in on Halloween, which is great. And then it also kind of creates a bit of a mile marker. So when you go through someone's profile, you can see they were there on Firehub, being active during that time.
Yes.
So yeah, there's quite a number of different badges that you can unlock on Firehub.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. It brings forward, and for those that they've played video games at one point in their life or still do, it has that very same feel and draw to, say, like the Call of Duty badges and all these other things, like those achievements that you trigger in a game.
That was one of the things when we first started talking about Firehub, and I'll never forget where I was. Michael and I, it was so early on, and it was like we were on the corner of our porch outside, and I get so giddy talking about it because it's so much fun. And we decided, it was a beautiful night, and we were like, let's just go outside and sit with a glass of wine on the porch and just talk. And that's when I said, I was like, I really wish there was a place where I could aggregate all of my spicy achievements. And we started talking, and I said, Michael, we've got to gamify this. I said, we need gamer style badges that people can unlock when they do certain things. Like they do this certain number of check-ins of a certain product, and then you get your badge. And it's like, it gets me going. I love badges. So that's why I'm so proud of it.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great. It brings in that next level of engagement, right? And so that part's fun. And so obviously y'all have the events section, things like will be showcased and listed here for all of those. And how often, I guess, probably hasn't been a thing to run into quite yet, but do y'all expect to just continue to let these catalog events roll out, or is there going to be by this date, these events will be archived essentially?
Yeah, so right now, maybe scroll to the bottom. I'll kind of give you an example of Burning the Mountains. I think a good one. And I think it's the very last one. It was the very first event we ever loaded in there. So you can see here, there's a few different options here. So when you go into the event, there's a discussion tab, so you can essentially have a conversation, with people leading up to the event. Hey, where are you staying? It's a conversation tab. We also have the ability to check in. So the idea there is that you can, anyone, any of the vendors at the event, you can check in their sauces, or really anything, right? Because that's the whole concept of Firehub. We've got our universal check-in, so you can check in peppers, you can check in tincture. Maybe someone gifted you tincture at an expo, which happens. It's pretty common. So, and then it aggregates, the feed here as well. So, so it allows you to check in and post and engage with this event leading up to and after the event. So that's one of our goals there. At some point, you might have an expiration, but right now you can go into the event and continue the conversation. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the check-in purpose on these is it will automatically aggregate that how it says right here, Farmer J, at the Burning in the Mountains Hot Sauce Festival. It'll just automatically populate that in there, or are they still having to go through that same process of the check-in?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways of doing it. If you go straight to the event and tap check-in, it will auto-populate it, and then if you just do a normal check-in, there's also an option to add the event, so you can tag the event. So there's two different ways of getting it. So in Firehub in general, you can search for pretty much anything, and there should be a call to action that would allow you to tag or to go ahead and check in that particular item, or you can do it during the kind of universal check-in process there.
Okay, I like it. I will say I do love the the simplicity of doing the scan of the image and having it pull. But I've also noticed that it is whether that's you on the back end or if that's like a process in which that kind of takes place over time. But even the times where it's been a bit hard to understand what the product name is versus the company name, it always gets sorted out correctly. And I'm greatly appreciative of that because, it like, sure, the saving time, being able to take the picture is great. But it's so easy as well to like fall out of sync in the sense of, the scanning of the image. It's not always 100% sure who the person is that made it. So being able to have that, fix itself and not have it something to be worried about is amazing.
We're actually, we're V4 of our check-in process there. We've put a lot of time and effort into that. There's an algorithm that you're speaking to actually that we've iterated on quite a bit. So we monitor it, really heavily. And of course we're heavy users of Firehub ourselves. So, they eat your own, dog food, as they say. So,
Yep.
we're pretty heavy users. So I get brutal feedback from Alexandria. So,
oh yeah.
So we do a lot of iteration, and I'm really happy to hear that. I appreciate that positive feedback.
Yeah. And, one thing that I guess I wanted to also bring up and mention, which is ultimately if you have that video linked in there, because obviously like we're seeing one right here, you can easily just click, boom, and it's starting to pull up. The integration next steps to that. Now, as far as like checking in things like peppers, is that going to have to be done so in a post, or is that having to be, or is that still able to be checked in?
So yeah, if you go to the Discover section and then there's a peppers category. We have a lot of peppers loaded into Firehub. So during the check-in process, actually, I mentioned the algorithm. If we detect a pepper, we'll ask you to describe the pepper. So that's one of the scenarios where we can't automatically derive it. We've actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out, can we use computer vision to try to match a pepper? But the issue is as you know, the phenotypes there's so many crosses, there's so many phenotypes, and peppers look so consistently the same that it's pretty tough. So the idea is that you can either search for a pepper and then you can do the check-in. You can check in video, you can check in a photo, or during the check-in process, if we detect a pepper, it'll ask you, hey, can you go ahead and describe what's the name of it? And then it'll be added to the database. So,
and that's for now, but I do want to say that's not to write off the possibility of us in the future being able to use AI to narrow down options and say, hey, is this pepper potentially a chocolate bootla? Right. Or do you think it's a chocolate reaper? Or, so it could maybe help you to narrow down which one it is for newer users.
I could also see that being coming, and I hate bringing it out into the universe, but it's also opening Pandora's box. Y'all realize that how many times people post online, hey, can you help me ID this pepper?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, and that's
Firehub can help you ID this.
It's
pepper.
True, because you can look through the peppers and find, get pretty close to the phenotype. And the more pepper check-ins we have, the more populated the database becomes, and it becomes a little easier for us to then be able to associate. But it is kind of incredible how you can have the same exact phenotype and the pepper can look 10 different ways.
So different.
So it's kind of amazing. But we work with growers. We love Jacob Dethridge. He grows some phenomenal peppers. So one of the things that we try to do is, when we can catalog peppers coming directly from the grower, we then know the high degree of accuracy. So that's one of the things that we're also really focused on. Jacob Dethridge was one of the first pepper groups that launched on Firehub, and which is a lot of fun, by the way. So if you get a chance, I would actually highly recommend this. At your chili head, buy a box of peppers from Jacob Dethridge. You can get them labeled, And then what's great about that is you can go into Firehub, and because you have the label, you know exactly what to check in.
Yep,
and then you get to
true.
sample all these different types of peppers. It's probably one of my favorite traditions, annually, is getting a box of peppers that are labeled
from Jacob.
And being able to try things. So that's a really good example of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's super cool to be able to have multiple layers to which you're categorizing. So like, other things might exist out there for just the hot sauce side of things or the barbecue sauce things, or, even outside of the spice world, there's things like, Untapped and all these others to check in, like alcohol and all this other things. But to be able to have one place not only focus on the challenges, but then you got the hot sauce, then you got the peppers, then you have just the fun homemade stuff in between as well, and to continue on infinitely, really. So that part's super awesome to be able to see and watch it really flourish forward. Something that is still extremely important to be able to really dive into, which is something that you mentioned early on. It's really the aspect of there's so many things around us, whether that just be like a random taco shop down the way that's like, hey, we make our own hot sauce or our own salsa, or hey, we have the death taco, come out and try the death taco. It's a fun avenue to be able to continue to spread the word, get it out there. You're supporting these other businesses by doing so, and you're helping others really continue to find places that might be local to them that they had no clue even existed.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, and during the check-in process, you can tag a physical location, so then you can actually see where it is. So someone, you use a taco shop, for example, someone checks in a beautiful taco, is spicy. You're like, what is that? You can tap the location and then, go there if you want. So yeah, that's definitely one of the core goals. So really, again, kind of taking the spicy world, if you will, and kind of graphing it to Firehub is one of our goals here. So if there's something you do as a chili head, we want you to be able to kind of find a place to be able to, again, document that. But also, like, I find myself going to Firehub all the time because I'm just curious. I'm like, what are people enjoying? And one of my favorite things to do is go, there's a lot of chili heads I look up to. Go to the profile, like what hot sauces are they enjoying, right? Like that's like one of my favorite things to do, because I'm like, we have some world-class athletes, on Firehub that compete in pepper competitions, including yourself, Brandon. And, it's really fun to be able to see, like, okay, if this person is crushing it on the competitive side, what's the hot sauces that they're using on a day-to-day basis?
It is fun.
I want to know. So, and then I end up buying them. So,
yeah, that too.
That too. So.
Well, very cool. From a business standpoint, we've featured we've shown some of the groups that kind of come forward in this whole process that have been created as a company. Like, let's say how Jacob Deathridge, like how he got on there with Deathridge Peppers. Like, what is the process like for a company to come on and become a group?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's entirely free. So you can join Firehub. The app from a consumer perspective is free. So of course anyone can download and use it. But from a company perspective, you can onboard your brand, and the software that powers that, which is available everywhere. Web, iOS, Android. We provide for free. So yeah, any hot sauce company, pepper company, challenge company, if you're interested in joining Firehub, they just reach out. We will onboard you. We are working on opening that up so anyone can just create a group through Firehub. So that is one of our core goals. From a technology perspective, is anyone that wants to have a group on Firehub can create a group.
Well, the once again, the level at which I'm sure you're mapping this through has to be astronomical, because, people just accidentally or purposefully having typos and things to get around, and having like spoofing groups. I'm sure things like that are going to be all stuff that is in the process of making sure doesn't happen as this is rolling forward. So that's got to be a lot of legwork on the back end. Yeah.
Yes,
a lot of automation.
Back end,
Yeah. We have a whole, like, one of the first things we built in Firehub is a a flagging like subsystem. So there's automation behind the scenes to kind of prevent things from bubbling up that shouldn't. Because we are globally accessible, especially Android and web, for whatever reason, we deal with a lot of bots. We fight a lot of bots, but as a user, I'm sure you can attest that you've never seen anything come through there. So that's something that we focus on. I'm sure something will at some point, but the flagging system is critical. Like any social platform, Facebook, Twitter, all the social platforms out there deal with it, right? It's just kind of par for the course. But we, that's something that we're definitely very cognizant of, and then from a technology perspective, we automate as much as we can. So
yeah. No, I mean, that's the only way to survive. Definitely these days, it's such a high volume, so much demand flowing through the online different channels. To have that automation there is absolutely crucial.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
There was something that I was going to talk about, and I've already blinked on it, but I do want to also bring up that y'all have not only, you don't just have the app, you're gaining exposure, you're getting out there more in not only these different, hot sauce events, pepper competitions, so on and so forth. And now, you have also Firehub sponsored competitors. I guess talk in a little bit about the different levels at which Firehub is getting plugged in and tapped into the overall competitive scene.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Alexandria, we're both, really, we have a lot of love for the competitive side of the chili world. It's one of the reasons we built Firehub, and there's a lot of core kind of tenets built into Firehub around that. But we kind of say right now we've got two layers. We have kind of what we consider our pro level, where we sponsor, really the best in the world. So an example of that is Mike Jack. Mike Jack is, to our knowledge, the first professional chili head. He does it for a living. He travels the world and competes. We consider him, one of the best in the world. He's one of the fastest. He's got one of the highest levels of endurance. So we're really proud to sponsor Mike Jack. We recently sponsored Charlie Whitmore, Broken Charlie, also one of the top competitors in the world. I actually would love to see Charlie and Mike compete because Charlie has unmatched endurance. I can't really think he's definitely like top 3 in the world.
And I would like to put this out there that Michael and I are not opposed to one day sponsoring someone who is not vegan.
That's true. Yeah, we do. We have a bit of a track record here with vegans. So,
but that doesn't mean that the next competitor we sponsor will not be a vegan.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yep. That's funny. I didn't even think about that, and which is interesting because I do know that about both of them, but I never made that correlation there. So that's
you heard it here first.
Yep, that's pretty funny. Pretty good times though. But yes, both great competitors in their own right, and it definitely have tremendous strength to be able to continue to endure and push on, through whatever's put in front of them. So definitely like it. And then y'all have, I guess, on a y'all have another level at which I remember seeing the update roll out. So like if someone goes and does a competition somewhere wearing a Firehub shirt and wins, then there's also another level of support in that right.
Yeah, so we launched the Firehub Cash Prize. The Firehub Cash Prize was launched for people that don't have sponsors. So there's a lot of people getting into the competitive scene. And, we'll have a lot of people write and say, hey, can you sponsor us? And, the truth is we just can't sponsor everyone, right? So that's why we have kind of two brackets. The Firehub Cash Prize, again, is really built for those who don't have sponsors. So what we do, it's a very simple formula. We will send you a T-shirt anywhere in the world.
For free. We include shipping anywhere in the world. So that's a type of sponsorship.
We have sent T-shirts to Africa, all throughout Europe, of course, all over North America. So
Eastern Europe.
Yep. So we send the shirt free. So there's no cost to be part of the program whatsoever. Really, all you need to do is just wear a shirt. And if you win, there is a cash prize. So, 2025, this is our first year of it. We're calling it the Firehub Cash Prize. But to be honest with you, we've kind of thrown around the idea of changing the name to like the Firehub cash charity or charity giveaway or something, because it really is, we built it for the community. It's an opportunity to win a cash prize. We in the world of competitive eating, cash prizes are extremely common. So like outside the spicy world, it's like everywhere. It's a big tenet of the competitive eating world. And then even like you think of things like professional barbecue competitions, even like they're all over the U.S. and they all have cash prizes. It's just extremely common. So we like to see it become more commonplace in the competitive pepper eating world in particular, and then other anything really spicy competitive. So
and the reason for all this, I would like to step in and just say, and the reason for us wanting there to be more cash prizes or cash prizes in general in the spicy world is because we wish to uplift the world of competitive pepper eating and competitive spicy food eating. In order to do that, you have to garner interest from people. So you really need to have the same sort of offerings that Major League Eating is offering, all the big food organizations that throw their major competitions, and even the small ones. They will even have tiers, like you get third, sometimes even fourth, but fourth, third, second, and first place all have tiers of cash prizes. But for now, Michael and I just offer the one type of cash prize for the singular winner. And that's just our starting kind of place that we're at while Firehub grows.
And we did open it up for any kind of spicy competitions. So
Yes.
Wing competitions, there anywhere there's a stage basically, and you've got a crowd, we deem it a competition. So you wear a Firehub shirt and you win. There's 3 brackets. The first bracket's $100. So like kind of amateur level, probably most wing competitions fall into that. Of course, we've got extreme competitions. There's some extreme pepper eating competitions out there. That's $250 if you win. And then we have an ultra level, which is a lot less common, but we hope that in the future we'll see more kind of ultra level competitions, and that's a $500 cash prize.
To our knowledge, Michael and I have seen maybe a couple online, but they're very uncommon because most people don't want to take the time to lean into the endurance aspect of pepper eating. It is long. It's a long form thing. So, if those competitions do arise in the future, we're here with that $500 cash prize for the winner if they wear a shirt. So
a good example of it actually is the first League of Fire North American belt match with Mike Jack, where basically
Kenny Lamoureux competed against him.
It's an incredible match if you get a chance to watch it. It's one of our favorites actually. So they basically give both of them a bucket of Reapers, and they basically say, eat as many Reapers as you can. And then they weigh the difference, and whoever ate the most won the competition.
That was the end.
And,
it was so
one of my
brutal.
favorite competitions I've ever seen.
So brutal.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That sounds very interesting. I'll definitely have to go back and watch that one because that sounds interesting to me. Endurance. Yes, endurance seems to be much more the forte that I like to lean into. Speed eating is not mine.
Yeah.
Speed eating
just to say
just gets me.
Yeah, I personally, I'm a big fan of speed eating, and I know there's a lot of people that talk like endurance versus speed eating. I've won a few speed eating competitions, and I do enjoy it. It is a lot of fun, but we love to see both. We love to see the hardcore endurance. We love to see more of that.
I do love both. I think that there's definitely like a solid, serious place for both in the world of pepper eating. But it's the reason why I love both is because I love looking at you, Brandon, and I know. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. There are so many people in the world who would be terrified to sit next to you with a bucket of Reapers on the day that you were ready. You're like, I'm ready. Here we go. It would be scary. It would be very scary for them. And they might not even do it. And then Michael, there's a lot of people too who would say, oh, Michael's fast. Like, I'm not in. Like, I don't want to deal with that. So that's why it's fun, because you get to see different, or figure out as a chili head, where do I shine? Like, what am I best at?
Yeah. Yeah, I just recently talked about it, actually, when Annie was on the episode, about how it's just like, I think the ending could be done in an interesting way, but yeah, I get the idea that it's already a long event. It's a bigger commitment, but I think it would be an interesting way to kind of have the whole thing play out. I mean, it puts a much more, so there's already like the intensity building, but it puts it at a much more heightened state of like everyone buying in. Like, okay, well, what's going on now? Who's gonna make it? And
I
so,
just love it. I just love it. I think that this is the truth, and this is from somebody who can almost nearly just see into the future because there's a call from the community for it. I think that we're going to see that. I think that we're going to see both forever. And I think that whether it's a big comp or a small comp or whatever, doesn't matter. I think people are going to get what they want. Like people want to be able to flex their ability to eat these massive amount of peppers. So, the growers are eager to give that to
yep,
competitors. They're like, hey, let me supply you with those peppers. We want to see it. And I also like the fact that there's less control there. You can't just say, oop, it's time for speed. Let's go. It's no, we got to make it through these peppers. We're here. You can either tap or stay, but it's a lot more, falls more onto the lap of the competitors than the people running the event. Like, who's going to sit down and deal with the pain and just bear it.
yeah,
Yep, and I think both are really fun to watch.
Yeah,
I
they
do
are.
enjoy watching speed eating, but yeah, again, you got to check out that first North American belt with Mike Jack. Absolutely incredible. Again, volume based eating, just one of my favorite matches of all time. That definitely ultra. So so Firehub Cash Prize, three levels, kind of amateur, extreme, and ultra. It's open to anyone worldwide. And we've had overwhelmingly positive reaction. At this point, actually, we've given away thousands of dollars worth of T-shirts and prizes, kind of along
Separately,
the way. So
thousands of each.
Very, very positive. And again, North America, throughout Europe, it's a worldwide program. So very, very cool.
yeah. Well, and I guess to that point, talking about the 3 different iterations, just the wide variety amongst the whole entire world right now, as these different pepper competitions, wing competitions, all these things start to get sparked up and really drummed up. Now, there's obviously multiple different, I guess in the most simplistic way, players in the game, which are putting on these events. And so the magnitude, the caliber, the attention, all these things kind of vary amongst them. So I guess, like, how are y'all evaluating when it comes time for one of these events to really like kind of fine tune and figure out, is this a true League of Fire event that would be, something that is obviously cleared for what Firehub is willing to support? Or is this, someone Bubba out of his backyard and he's got him and 6 other friends about to throw down? Like, how do you evaluate those?
It's a great question. We've seen all sorts of pepper competitions at this point, kind of all over the world too. Different formats, people on stages, people at picnic tables. So one of the things that we've done is if you go to prize.firehub.io, we have a breakdown of all the basically T's and C's, dotting our I and everything. But what we basically ask is feel free to reach out to us ahead of the competition, and we can help you categorize it. We find that probably a lot of competitions really kind of fall into that amateur tier. The extreme is less common. Of course, the ultra is something that we've only ever really seen maybe a couple times ever. So we try to really kind of spell that out. And of course, we're definitely here to help kind of answer any questions around the different tiers.
Okay. And as people are, they're putting on these events, or whether it be Hot Sauce Expo that has never seen any kind of competition, etc., the best way to just really get out there, get that ball rolling, conversation started, is just to reach straight out to Firehub via the email or directly through the app.
Yeah, absolutely. Email is always great. And
hello at firehub.me. That's a good one.
So we're definitely here to help. And we've been getting, this year we've been working with different events. We sponsored our first amateur pepper competition. We used Burning the Mountains as an example. So we've been doing a lot of experimenting kind of with events in general, which we're really excited about. We feel like we have a lot that we can kind of bring to the table and kind of elevate things in general. So we're really excited about that.
All right. Well, obviously there's tons of different things within the overall scope that is Firehub. Now, we had talked about the restaurant functionality aspect. I know that you were saying is going to be a new feature that'll be rolling out soon. I guess really, what is the road forward, whether it's a started process or not? Like, where do you really see continuing down the path of like expansion and growth of Firehub?
Absolutely, yeah. So speaking of restaurant challenges, pretty much I'd say any day now we're going to be launching a new group. So one of the things that we've really focused on is bringing new, geo features into the app. We've actually been working on bringing the different various restaurant challenges from all over the world into the app. This has been quite the undertaking, we've found, because we have you call a lot of restaurants.
It's because this doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. So
we have to call the restaurants and talk to them about their challenge.
And you got time zone differences and everything. So it's been quite the effort, but we're really excited about this. So really, it's pretty simple. Our goal is to make it easy for you to find a restaurant challenge near you. So as we mentioned earlier on, we got into this because of restaurant challenges. Alexandria said, "Hey, I want to go do something spicy." We found a nearby wing challenge, and we went and did that. So
restaurant challenges are the gateway to the spicy world of fun, and it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. So we actually have beta users in there, doing check-ins and using the new functionality. So this is like everything will be available Android, iOS, and the web. It asks you your location, and it'll show you nearby restaurant challenges. So so this is something we're really excited about. And then of course, on top of that, you get all the Firehub functionality. So say you went to a nearby wing challenge, you recorded it, you can then upload that into Firehub, and then there's a leaderboard, so you can see who else has done those challenges, that particular wing challenge. So yeah, it's really kind of bringing together all the Firehub core capabilities to restaurant challenges.
I definitely like it. Now, I do have a question about that, and I know that this is still something that hasn't fully released yet. Now, looking at this map here, immediately popped in my head of, okay, so as you can see on there, there's quite a few different locations at which you could go. Is there going to be a functioning aspect to which it's like, let's say this here, top point right there. Let's say, I went to the restaurant there, I ate the challenge, I completed it, I've checked it in, etc. Is there a way to now basically, whether it be changing the color to something slightly different, like an off tone, to know that you've completed that, to maybe have a checklist?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. But by default, it kind of gives you kind of a wide view, and then there's a search where you can kind of narrow in the radius, and you can actually kind of move around the world and see challenges at different cities. So and I think that's a great idea, changing the marker to a different color if you've already done it for that particular location. So that's great. We're launching well into the thousands of locations all over the world of various restaurant challenges. So our goal is that when you go into the app and you tap on the map, you should see challenges near you. In the North America in particular, we focused on the West Coast, East Coast, and in the Midwest. So we've got challenges kind of across the U.S. We've been working on Europe quite a bit lately, getting them in. And as mentioned, the most difficult thing really is, getting in contact with a restaurant, right? So email doesn't seem to work. It seems like you really have to call these restaurants to get the information. So it's definitely been a passion project of Alexandria and I. Basically, we carve out certain days of the week. We're like, okay, let's sit down, divide and conquer. We'll have like an idea of a certain number of restaurants. We get a call and confirm and everything. So it's a bit of a process, but we're excited. And then through the app itself, if you know of a restaurant challenge, you can actually submit it through the group,
that's great too.
Which is super helpful. So our goal is to really build the largest database of spicy challenges, restaurant challenges in the world, a place that you can go to. And again, it's for the chili community. And we know that we're in a bit of a niche, but we feel like if you love all things spicy, if you're a chili head, like we want you to be able to go into Firehub and find a restaurant challenge near you.
And I want to, my goal, Brandon, is to be at an event, like say we went to the Tennessee Hot Sauce Expo and we all met up there. We had a little cap crew meetup or something. And I want to be able to pull up Firehub and say, hey, everyone, let's go to Jason's Wing House and we're going to go do the challenge. Like we can all go do it together and we'll just know about it. Or if you're out, like say you have to fly somewhere for Thanksgiving, you have a family meetup and everyone's kind of bored and they're like, okay, we've got today off, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Then you can go there and just like go through the list, see what challenges are available and like make it a thing, because we wanted that so bad when we first started this journey and it was like pulling teeth trying to find places to go. So we're trying to make it easier on other people.
Yeah, there's no place that manages this. Like it just doesn't exist. What you will find online is very stale.
Yeah, it's really
we know
old.
firsthand is very stale. We're doing the legwork, and we hope that the community really loves it. It's one of our favorite aspects of being a chili head is, you come across one of these like wall of flame, hall of flame. They kind of go back. Mostly wall of flame is the kind of terminology, but you beat a wing competition, you get to write your name on the wall. It's there forever. It's cool. It's fun. I think it's one of the just like kind of a core, pillar of the community. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that being an amazing one. And also the headache, and I can picture it now because like, obviously there's certain restaurants. It's like, oh, we're only open on Wednesdays through Friday, or, oh, we're closed on Tuesday between, lunchtime to 4 PM. And it's like, trying to reach out to these places to verify, to do all these things, it's got to be a headache in its own right. But
Australia, Asia,
my gosh,
it's pretty tough.
It is tough.
There's countries that we don't speak the language, so I'm like,
what do we
tough.
do?
It's tough. Yeah.
We got to figure it out.
But it's
awesome.
fun. It's a labor of love, and it's something that we're building for the community. We're really excited about that. So that should be launching really very soon. Again, we already have beta users in there. You actually can see some recent check-ins, with that group actually. So that's something that we're really excited about launching. And again, it's been probably over a year in the making. Again, one of those projects we've got. Firehub is really kind of like a project of projects. So we have all sorts of things going on. We have a lot of things in the works, things that just take a very long. This is a really good example of that, right?
This is a good example.
You build out all the core technology that powers it, but then getting the data in is, it's a long process.
It is a lot of fun because since we've been working on this for 4 years, I think a lot of people in the community, there's never been anyone like us that's done anything like this. And we came out with Firehub, we launched the app, and everyone's like, yay, it exists. And I think they kind of thought that was it. And I don't think we've begun. I really don't think
we're just beginning.
We're just beginning. And guess what? 4 years is just a blink of an eye. Like 8 years, 12 years, we're going to keep building Firehub. It's going to be something pretty astounding at the end, I think.
It's a marathon.
It is.
A sprint.
Yeah, not a sprint.
Yeah, well, that old adage that it's better to fall in love with the journey than the destination, and it's very much that scenario right now. Ultimately, as you're saying, it like understanding the legwork or a glimpse into the legwork that it takes to kind of get this whole operation moving. And sure, it's like you may have this giant list of features and things you want to roll out, but there is wants and then there's realities, and realities aren't limited. It's just a time and man-hour capacity issue at that point. It's definitely going to continue to flourish, and I'm super excited for everything that y'all have been able to accomplish, and y'all continue to add and refine and get this rolling. Something definitely that popped up in my head with the food challenge aspect, knowing that worldwide things are going to be documented and added in there. Is there going to be let's say Bob's Chicken down the way has a spicy chicken sandwich, and then it's like 2 weeks later, oh, Bob's is now out of business. So it's like, is there going to be a way for users to basically leave notes on that to say, hey, like this challenge no longer exists, sorry?
Right. Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, similar kind of functionalities are flagging in general. So like flagging products, you can
Mhm.
flag check-ins. So that's one of the things that we're focused on. I'd say there's many different ways of going about building an app like Firehub. We are very crowd focused, so it's a bit of a hybrid. We have kind of our core database. Like when we launched Firehub, we launched with over 7,000 products. And that is similar to what we're doing right now.
We
That
sourced
was
all those.
we sourced all of them. It was very
Yeah.
very long process, but we launched with over 7,000 products. A lot of that hot sauce, and so we've been through down this path before. So similar concept, like we're starting with again well into the thousands of spicy restaurant challenges all over the world, all these different various locations. And then from there, our hope and our goal is that the community will rally together and help us continue to build this out. And again, it's a community project. All this is for the community. So
Right.
We come together and we can do incredible things.
I like it. I definitely like it. Okay. Well, I think there's obviously still more that we can kind of dive in on this, but I do have a very fun game planned. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and load that up. I'm sure more conversation will continue, so we will push on with that.
Love it.
All right, here we go. We have Sauce Gauntlet iteration number 23 rolling out. Wild to think how many of these sauce gauntlets, pepper gauntlets, or spicy gauntlets have come and passed. And definitely looking forward to jumping into this one. First and foremost, just because something does not make the cut does not mean that you absolutely hate the sauce. Now, there might be some on here that you might dislike, but, ultimately only one winner. So let's go ahead and zoom this one on in.
No, we do not. Well, I guess we have to agree. This is not good.
This is gonna be hard.
This is not common for us to agree on everything.
This is going to be fun. The majority of times when it's been two people playing the sauce gauntlet, spicy gauntlet, or pepper gauntlet, it's typically come down to rock, paper, scissors if both parties cannot come to agreement.
I'm better at that.
I just want to say, for the record, for the on-air record, I am so stoked right now.
Yes, I'm excited.
I cannot remain casual like Matt Johnston.
Yep.
I will
Well,
be not casual.
he's got a superpower for that. So
He does.
all right. Well, we have Hellfire. This is the Fiery Fool versus Texas X's.
Oh,
Dang. Hellfire's Fiery Fool and Texas X's. You like Texas X's, but I
do.
I picked the Fiery Fool because I bet I can't really see from here
Oh
where
my
I'm
gosh,
sitting.
we're gonna
but
be
I
doing
think,
rock paper scissors for every round.
hey, I could. Oh yeah, I think I've had that one before. That's a good sauce. I think
for
I've had
sure.
both of these.
Yeah, that Fiery Fool is a pretty popular one from Hellfire. I can't recall directly, but it is, I believe, a 3-pepper blend. So I think it's Reaper, Primo, Brain Strain, or maybe it's Douglas, something like that.
All right, I'll do. I have had that one before. It was very early on in my hot sauce journey, but I'll do Texas X's. You want that one?
How about for the sake of we'll alternate. So next one, you can be a tiebreaker.
No, but I love both those sauces, so it's fine. It's fine.
All right. Well, simple enough. And once again, doesn't mean that it's gone forever, but it's not moving forward today. So, all right. Up next, well, we have Jersey Barnfire's Black Garlic versus Cosmic Disco from Karma Sauce.
Oh, Cosmic Disco. Oh, Jersey Barnfire's Black Garlic. Done.
Yeah, you have to go. If there's
Cosmic Disco is really good though.
Yeah,
I've had both of those multiple times.
Yep.
I have fond memories of Cosmic Disco. Don't you, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I love Cosmic Disco. But
there's a story.
There is a story there.
Well,
we both chugged Cosmic Disco.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. We got First Blood from Hellfire versus Karma's Carnival.
First Blood,
yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Such a good sauce. And I just love the label.
Kind of not
love
fair.
the artwork.
Yeah, not fair on that one.
That one might just win.
That is also a very good sauce. I do love Carnival on like jerk chicken sandwiches and wraps. Oh my goodness, it's phenomenal. There really shines. Well, We have Clark and Hopkins. This is Nagaland versus Bravado Spice Co.'s Ghost Pepper and Blueberry.
Ooh, I know which one it's not.
Yeah.
Sorry. Michael is not a fan of the fruit flavors and sauces, not typically at least. So we'll do option A.
All right, Nagaland it is from Clark and Hopkins.
It's like the only thing that's ever made me kind of almost pop. I chugged a bottle of that Bravado probably 2 years ago.
I don't think it was actually the sauce though. I think it was a little old, Brandon.
Well,
I think it was a little.
My first experience with it, I distinctly remember because I was walking through grabbing groceries, and at the grocery store they had the Bravado Spice lineup, and it just happened to be discounted like to a point where it just didn't make sense to not grab it. And I very much had the same situation. I ended up pouring a little bit on just to get a good taste, and I was like, okay, this is fine. So I went heavy with it. And what I ended up figuring out after the fact is it has a bit more of a stronger vinegar note to it under that blueberry tone. Yeah. And so if you are not one to care for much of a vinegar taste, that will definitely creep up on you.
Yep, for sure. We share that experience.
That's great. You do share it.
There we go. We have K. John's black garlic hot sauce versus, well, this is Faya. This is a throwback here. This is La Muerte. So, this sauce is now under the Hotbox Philly line, but great one too. Both
La
of
Muerte. I haven't had. I don't think I've had that one actually, but I have had, and it always makes me feel confident when the other choice I feel so passionately about. I just love black garlic sauces.
We're a sucker for black garlic.
So we'll take that K. John's. That's a good one right there.
All right,
that is a good one.
Like it. And we will move on over to this next one here. This is, Thor I.O. from Volcanic Peppers versus Mikey's EAFO.
Oh,
EAFO.
Yeah, for sure.
That's another winner. Love that one. That's that's a nice sauce. It makes me happy.
Mikey V is such a great producer.
Yeah, he is.
That's hard.
That was a definite hard matchup there. Thor I.O. was probably one of the first sauces that I ever had when venturing into the more deep side of the craft sauce world that just completely caught me off my guard and like knocked me down. Now I absolutely love it. Well, we have Valentina Black Label. That one is specifically there for Miguel, who loves this sauce dearly. Versus,
oh my gosh, I remember that.
The Salsa Roja from Faya. Once again, another throwback there, because now that's Hotbox Philly.
I think I've had Salsa Roja. I'll take that one. That's the one I'd pick. I'm not a Valentina fan, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. Like when people use it on things, they cook chicken or like there's Valentina potato chip flavors or whatever. It's not off-putting to me. It's just a little too safe for my palate.
Not enough heat. For
sure.
Sure.
And there's no heat. So
we actually have it on the room, and
you can't taste it. It just sits there.
Well, we have Charmin. This is the Verde versus Today's Adventure from Adventure Sauces.
That's Angry Irishman, isn't the first one?
This is Charmin.
Charmin? But isn't that Angry Irishman?
No, that's Angry Irishman is a different sauce line. Charmin is, unless I'm incorrect, but I believe.
No, you're not. I can't see the label very well. It's
okay.
Okay.
You're
I
good.
just thought that was one of his sauces. Yeah. That's today's
adventure? Man.
No, but it's the pineapple habanero. That's a great sauce. We'll take that.
Yeah, that's oh boy.
I have done a lot of things with that sauce before, chugging, drinking shots, etc.
Didn't you do hands ramen with that?
Yeah, I did hand noodles with it.
I was about to say, I think that we got all over your hands. All right. Well, now we're down to the final 8 here. This is where it's going to get even harder. So, up first,
cool.
Mikey V's Texas X's versus Jersey Barn Fire's Black Garlic.
It's rough. Mikey V has just a slight edge on.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No,
it does.
no.
It does.
I wholeheartedly disagree. Okay, but I get the next one if you take this one.
So you do have a little bit more texture in the Mikey V sauce as to where Jersey Barn Fire sauce is going to be pretty smooth. So if you're for texture, that might be a good vote, or if you're against texture, that might be a good vote.
I do like texture.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, that is a good point. But here's the other point. I love garlic.
I know. See, it's so funny because I both of these bottles, like I definitely ate most of Mikey V's, and you ate most of the
Jersey Barn Fire.
Jersey Barn Fire.
And Mikey V's has more heat than Jersey. Go ahead and do the Mikey V's then. It's fine.
All right.
Because I love them both. It doesn't mean it's better.
You get the next one.
It does not mean that.
Out of fairness.
We just picked that one because I think that they're equal in their own ways.
Yeah. Oh no, I absolutely agree. I definitely think that they all shine in their own right. All right. Well, Hellfire. We have First Blood versus Nagaland from Clark and Hopkins.
Oh yeah, I'll take First Blood. That's a great sauce.
All right. Simple enough. And well, that's shaping up pretty nicely there. Well, now we have K-John's Black Garlic versus Mikey V's EAFO.
K-John's.
Sorry, Mikey. That's a tough one.
But see, Mikey already won on the other side. It's okay.
Yep. I was just about to say it might be a Mikey battle if that progressed. Well, all right. Here we go. We have the Salsa Roja versus Today's Adventure.
Today's Adventure. Yeah, it's a great sauce. It's actually one of the sauces for viewers who are watching that claims to be a habanero sauce, but when we have habanero sauces, at least in America, typically they are not that hot, but the mash that they used, or either the percentage of mash they used, was higher in this. Also, it claims to be a pineapple sauce, but it is not overly sweet. Definitely not a dessert sauce. Love that sauce. It is, it's a good one.
Absolutely. Very well said there. It's definitely, I was trying to rack my brain, but I won't say it definitively because I think there's other two that are in that conversation, but definitely in the running for the hottest habanero sauce that I've had that's unaltered by extract or cap crystals or whatever. So
hands down.
All right. Well, final 4. Here we go. We have Mikey V's Texas X's versus Hellfire's First Blood.
All right, you pick this side and I'll do the other.
The blood will spill today.
Oh,
the other one's really hard though. Why did I give myself that one?
This is really tough.
This is just brutal. This is unfair.
And also,
this is not nice.
They're so different, you know. We're talking like microcosms here, but like Hellfire beats it out just barely. It's just, again, very different sauces. I don't know how we got ourselves into that situation. So
yeah, but we did. No, Brandon put us there.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, while there is a level at which y'all put yourselves there, it was deliberately intended to be a more challenging thought process. So, okay, I'll go ahead and make First Blood a little bit bigger here. And, well, we have Black Garlic from K-John's versus Today's Adventure from Adventure Sauces.
How am I supposed to pick? I can't do this. Oh, I choose garlic over everything. Okay, yeah, Ryan and Lee, I love you, but you need a garlic sauce, so I picked the black garlic.
All right.
I can't believe it. You chose that.
I just did. And here's why. Because I love black garlic. And that's it's just it. It's just me.
Hellfire versus K-John's is like quite the...
But can I say this too? I just want to say this. I love, and it's probably just because I want that sauce staring at it right now, but I think that Ryan and Lee's sauce is a better overall sauce than the K-John sauce. I think it's a better overall sauce. You know what? Change it, Brandon. Just do it.
All right.
I can't say that. I can't say that and then X it out. It's a better overall sauce.
Yeah, no, I think
well,
so.
All right.
No, forget food.
Well, I was about to say we need to cue the Sarah McLachlan and the sad puppies at this point, because I feel like this battle is becoming very, very thought through and in detail, and I love it. I'm here for it. So, all right, well. Yeah, we need to put a little black and white filter, and then I just slowly scroll over these as arms of an angel are just playing. So
see, this is actually easier probably for me.
Okay,
than you.
I think this is easier too, because there's a more well balanced sauce here.
Yep.
Or which one is it?
Without a doubt, between these two sauces, without a doubt, it's today's adventure.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
That's it.
Today's adventure wins. All right, let's go ahead and make this one nice and big here too. If my thing's gonna win, and here we go. Boom. Today's adventure taking it home. Sauce Gauntlet 23. An absolute bloodbath here, literally to the end. And so, yeah, well, fun way to break that back, through and dive deeper into some sauces. Obviously, a lot of these have been, I'm sure, if not all of those, have been already logged into Firehub at one point or another. So a fun way to continue to just showcase different sauces and continue to spark interest to jump on in and find out more.
Absolutely. That was fun.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Thank you so much, Brandon, for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, the one thing, I guess, instead of the nugget of knowledge being towards someone that's like starting something, what have you, what would be your nugget of knowledge for someone that is, just starting out on Firehub? What should they, where should they start to get tapped in? Where should they start to first navigate?
Yeah, I think a really great thing. I mean, just getting into the app, you can just literally grab any hot sauce that you've got in your pantry and just start checking in. That's a lot of fun. Unlock a lot of badges early on, and then getting into the groups. We've got some phenomenal groups, especially if you're interested in the challenge side. To get into there. So. But yeah, I'd say just starting, just grab whatever hot sauce you want. What you're going to find is enthusiastic. Again, I use the word fanatics, like just people that love all things spicy. And I would say Firehub, one of the things that we're really focused on is just culturing just a friendly, kind of excited atmosphere. So I think no matter what you check in, if it's spicy, you're going to find someone excited to talk to you about it. So. Just dive in. It's fun. All this is for fun.
To piggyback off that, I think that those are really great points, and it was very similar to what I was going to say. When you first download the Firehub app or either decide to use Firehub on your desktop, you can do whatever you want, and that is the point. I want people to feel comfortable there, and I want them to know that if they're new users, this is their place. And I promise you that even if you just like peppers, you produce powder, you just consume hot sauces, or you just do challenges, everyone on there will be supportive and interested in whatever you're doing. As long as it's spicy, the people on Firehub are interested. They want to see what you've got going on in your life. So don't feel pressured. Also, this is a core foundational thing about Firehub. I never want users to feel like they have to spend money in order to fit in this community. And this has driven me since day one, the thought that you can have a jalapeno seed and you can document the entire growth journey of your plant, grow your own peppers, consume them, take videos of yourself eating them, build your tolerance, and do the same thing with a single habanero seed the next year. I mean, you can record your journey and just follow your own path on Firehub. And we're here to support you and give you the platform to showcase your journey. Yeah, your tolerance growth, whatever it may be that you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for that nugget of knowledge, that really that initial guidance, if you will, for those individuals that are just getting tapped into Firehub, and maybe some of those that had jumped in early on and have kind of fallen out, to be able to find fun and great ways to continue to get tapped back in. So thank y'all for that.
Absolutely.
Now, the next part here is, of course, something y'all are very familiar with, which is the hot seat nomination. This is someone that y'all think would make a great guest for the show.
All right. Do you mind me going first?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to go first. I thought about mine because I think as people get the opportunity to be on your show, Brandon, it becomes increasingly more difficult to really just nominate someone new and someone that people haven't heard from in a while, because you do such a great job of showcasing so many different makers and putting the spotlight on people. But someone who I'd love to see the spotlight be put on, and I already know that they are not necessarily going to be enthusiastic about it, but I hope that they will do it because the community would like to see their story, including myself, is another couple in the spicy community, and that is Ryan Thomas and Kelly Thomas of Capsaicin Crew. Kelly Thomas is one of the most, fierce pepper eaters you could imagine. She is an absolute powerhouse. Her husband, Ryan, creates some of the most delicious and magical sauces, treats, challenges, and goodies you could imagine. And I know that she has a hand in that as well. Great people with great hearts. And I know other people would also love to hear their story.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that nomination. I'll be reaching out for them as well to line that on up. And Michael, if you had one, you're more than welcome to also nominate.
So this is a person that has done a lot for the community. Is contributing ways, just came out and just basically built a foundation that I think in a lot of ways the chili head world kind of sits on top of now. But fierce competitor. I'm not sure if anyone's ever nominated this individual, but I'd like to nominate Brandon Swear.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm
we
all
need to
for
get
it.
someone to interview, but I would love to see Brandon Swear interviewed on the
I'd
Swear
love
Word.
to see you too, Brandon. We'd love to hear your story about
All
where
right.
you're from and what you enjoy.
Yeah. No, I'm all for it. That is one thing on the radar, to be able to jump into more other podcasts and et cetera, and have others kind of jump in and I guess take a little bit of a different focal point direction. But I definitely like that. That's an interesting nomination. I obviously will be figuring that one out, but we'll be getting this all squared away for sure, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Thank y'all so much. Well, this last part here is obviously, where can they find you? How can they find you? And any kind of last minute announcements that you want to make.
Sure. Yeah. Firehub.io is the website you can go to. You can just sign up and start using Firehub today. Of course, you can find us in the Apple and Android store. Easiest way to get to that, if you go to firehub.io/links, it has links to everything there. So, of course, we do a lot of posts on Facebook, just to kind of keep everyone up to date. All that same content's on Firehub as well. So, that's great. And then, we've got some really major announcements coming here in the coming months. So just keep an eye out. Restaurant Challenges is launching soon. We've got a number of other projects that we're working on that we're really excited about. So,
yep. And just as a reminder, new badges are dropping soon. The most currently right now, as we film, the one coming soonest is Halloween. So make sure that you eat something spicy on or very close to Halloween. Check it in on Firehub and unlock that badge, because this is the year of
the bat.
The vampire bat.
The vampire bat.
And last year was the year of the ghost. So you'll get to see our awesome new badge when you check in on Halloween this year.
I like it. Well, thank y'all so much, Michael, Alexandria. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast, talking Firehub and all the great things you have going on. Would love to have y'all back, of course. And thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
Brandon.
you, Brandon. Yeah, it's been fun.
Michael, Alexandria, it has been an absolutely amazing time having you on the podcast again, diving into Firehub, really being able to learn more about where it started, how it's trending, and all the great things that are coming forward with these new updates and the badges and the interactive aspect to it all, and not just being, more or less just focused on one avenue. Now you have many different ways in which you can check in peppers and other spicy challenges and products like that as well. So if you want to keep up with Firehub, I will have the direct links down below for all the ways that you can keep up with what they have going on, as well as upcoming events. Also, want to say a quick shout out for all those that have been rocking since day one, all the way to those that have just recently found the podcast. Thank y'all so much for being here and continuing to make this podcast what it is. Share it out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot. And, if you are on a platform that allows for a 5-star rating or a rating of any kind for the podcast, please hit us up with a 5-star rating. Helps get in front of the algorithm and in front of more other chili heads or individuals that just love spicy food in general. And have sponsorship opportunities available for the podcast. If you would like to sponsor a segment in the show or sponsor the podcast in any way, shape, or form, reach out via the website. That is theswearword.net. Or head on over on socials and reach out and we'll get that ball rolling. Quick shout out for our current sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site, maybe you had a guy at one point and you lost contact with them. Maybe you never got around to building a website. Highly recommend you check out webdx.one. Best of all, you get to focus on what you do best while they get you looking great online. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.